one mistake that I think first-time authors often make, that you haven't made, thank goodness, is that it's very easy to think, oh, I have a book out, I'm going to go to a forum where people are interested in this sort of thing, like the Horatio Hornblower fan groups, and I'm just going to announce that my book has come out, and I'm not going to do anything else.
Right.
Instead of taking the months before the book comes out to go and establish yourself as a member of that group, so when the book does come out, they already know what the book's about. They can be excited for you. I think it makes a huge difference with any book, but especially a self-published book.
And along those lines, one of the things I did was when I came up with the cover art, I posted it on there on the website, on basically my live journal page. Got a lot of responses from the people in that group. And like I mentioned earlier, I posted excerpts from the stories,
Which is brilliant.
and I've also done over the last year and a half or so, I've written reviews on every one of the Horatio Hornblower books and posted
clever.
those.
To build up your web presence.
Right.
That's
And
a very good idea.
I would usually post them on the community site, plus make a link from my site to there, just so that if people come across one or the other, they could follow the link and go to there and read the reviews.
That's great. So you can get a sense of who you are and the connection. Huh. Have you tried getting it into any book clubs? And that's always a hard sell.
No, not yet.
They're a hard group to reach unless you happen to know someone in a book club.
Right. The thing with me right now is that as much as I want to have the book sold and all that, I'm not going to knock myself out trying to do it. I'm gonna sit back and go one step at a time. You know, rather than stopping 5 nights a week trying to get it into a bookstore on consignment, I'm going to stop once or twice. Maybe I'm going to run up on a Saturday. Because when I come home from work, I don't want to stop and deal with people. I want to go home. I'm tired.
I think that's very sensible of you. And that, I would think, is one of the big advantages of publishing it yourself, is that you don't have those 3 weeks before Barnes & Noble is going to pulp it and send it back to the publisher. You can build, you can afford to build a readership over time.
And I think that's the great thing, too, about print on demand, is that, you know, I didn't have to go out and order 500 or 5,000 copies. Although I found out if I would have ordered 5,000 copies, even at the author's price, they even deduct off of that when you get up to over 1,000 copies. I could buy it even cheaper if I wanted to get 5,000 copies or something like that. But then again, that's an expense out of my pocket that I can't afford right now.
Yeah.
And if you're practical about it, are you going to be able to sell enough to get them back? So I'd rather go little increments by little increments and
yeah, I think that's smart because I mean, and I think people know in general that a self-published book that sells 500 copies is considered to have done quite well.
Right.
And if you're trying to do it all at once, I've seen so many good writers, they'll take the plunge, they'll self-publish, they'll have a month of enthusiasm, and then they'll give up because they tried so hard for in a short, intense burst, and then they just say, oh, I can't do it anymore. Now, that happens with a lot of first-time authors anyway. But I think you're very wise to have a doable long-term plan rather than burning yourself out.
Right.